I gotta press this button. Now we're live, I think.
I think. Okay.
All right, there we go. Yeah.
Vanguard rides again. Welcome back to the show. Um, Today we have a couple of things planned for you. We're gonna try and get you focused on I guess a little motivation. I mean, motivation is masturbation, almost like but at the same time, we gotta get you focused on the right stuff. But before I guess we can have a little bit of fun. What was it that you were mentioning?
Oh yeah. Right before the stream started, I was just like looking over at I guess this is your YouTube. It's just one of the videos, and it just says, "Why would you post this?" And I zoomed in and read what it says, and it says, "Open up ears for this, right?" I dated a dude who would make me choose who he would cheat on me with when I pissed him off.
Man.
And I'm sure there's more to this. Like I think there's more in the video, but I didn't watch the video because we're
There's
doing
no
this right now.
there's no more to be
What
had.
I mean by more is she definitely typed out more. She definitely that's not the only sentence she typed, bro.
I'm just
There's
saying you
definitely
clearly
another sentence there. But I have enough information to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you,
yeah,
sis?
you clearly have no self-respect if you're gonna allow
Bro,
some nonsense.
she looks fairly young, so yeah, it's probably one of those she was too young and too dumb to understand why she should not have been doing what she
Yeah.
was doing. And this
Well,
isn't even a targeted gender thing. Men are also too young and dumb. I'm just saying in this instance, she was just too young.
I'll throw some targeted gender in there. I mean, it just really seems like with some of these women, I'm gonna say some, so I don't sound like an asshole.
But you are an
And
asshole.
you know, it just seems that with some of these women, a good deal of them, just from what I've observed, and I know I can't use my observations as objective representation of the world around me, that some of these women want to be treated like garbage. Like it just seems to be the way to 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 get a great deal of them. You know what I mean?
Facts. Anyway,
Just saying. I'm just giving my personal observation. I could be wrong.
look,
I could be
man,
wrong.
it's a meme at this point. Like even they talk about it. Like, bro, remember that one interview we did where that girl was like talking about how, man, everyone's attracted to bad boys. Me too, though. And she was like, but it's real unhealthy.
At least she was honest
At
though.
least she was honest.
But it's
Then
not
she reached
enough.
out and was like, "Please never post this
Yeah,
anywhere."
please don't post. I mean, yeah,
Check out
that's
our
the thing with
Patreon.
me.
We'll post it.
Yeah, if I say something, I'm definitely gonna stand behind it. You know me well enough to see that I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna stand
Yeah,
behind it.
nah. If I say it with my full chest, it's too late. It's out in the world, bro. I'm gonna keep saying it with my
Like
full chest.
remember when we were doing the other interview, we were talking to those guys, and they were talking about how everyone was saying Young Thug was making fun of Young Thug for wearing the dress, but then they started praising him when it became popular.
Oh
And I was
yeah,
like, yeah, I was one of the guys making fun of him.
I
And
don't
I
even
said,
remember. I don't remember
huh?
when he was wearing the dress. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, he started doing that shit when we were in like high school, and I remember we would make fun of it, or like we were either in high school or just out of high school. And I remember I'd posted like, "What the fuck is going on?" I was like, "These niggas out here wearing dresses." I was like, "What's happening?" It's like
Bro,
I
it's
thought
not a
this was
purse.
rap.
It's a satchel.
Oh Jesus Christ. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know, man. A lot of these. I was talking to my mom about this earlier. Actually, I talked to my mom about a lot of things because basically sometimes I'll mention things to my mom that at one point she said I was crazy for,
And then
and
she
then
out
she
here spitting the same heat, and you're like,
yes,
oh,
yeah,
I
or
see.
she'll realize she'll literally sometimes she'll be honest and tell me something you said a long time ago really did turn out to be true. And well, the first thing was I predicted that Wendy Williams, the talk show host, was not coming back to her show. I was like, yeah, it's obvious she's not going to come back. And at the time, my mom was like, oh, I don't know. They can't just take her show from her like that.
Yes,
And
they
yeah,
can.
she's officially been replaced. She's been replaced by one of the.
How do you replace Wendy Williams on her own show though? Like at least give it a new name.
They did. They did. They gave it a new name.
All right,
She's
cool.
gone. They
Wendy
did mad.
Williams was one of the most problematic people I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how she had a show for so long. She really
Okay, she
did
was a
this,
shock jock. She was
huh?
a shock. She was a shock jock.
Shocked,
That's what she used to
bro.
be.
Shocked. She would literally just be like, "Let me tell you some outrageous
Oh,
bullshit
that's what I'm
right
trying to
now."
tell you. If you
Like,
think
what
what she
the
does
fuck?
now is bad, she used to be a shock jock. She was on the radio. She used to say crazy shit back then, like
Yo,
wild stuff. That was
crazy.
how she made her money. These YouTubers that you see now, you know, They have nothing on the original shock jocks. So back, those niggas were crazy, bro. The shit they would say and do was
And I was just
insane.
like, yo, she really out here just lying. Like
Yeah,
to your face, bro.
she did even worse back in the day. She
She's
tells
out here
bull.
just saying, she's just reaching as far up her own ass as she could
I
just
mean,
to.
it's gossip, right? What is gossip but unsubstantiated claims, right? So it's
Bro, I think like the last thing I even saw about Williams was, bro. Oh yeah, it was some disrespectful shit too. She was just like, she's talking about this guy's TikTok, and she was like, oh, this little TikTok star or whatever. He has more followers than me. Blah blah blah. And then at the end of all that, like it's like high key, low key berating this man for having a bunch of followers on TikTok. It was like, oh, by the way, he's dead. I was like, what the fuck? You did not just go out of your way to say all that shit, and this is how you announce that this is how you announce his passing. That
jeez.
shit, man.
Yeah,
I see why she's gone.
he's pushing up daisies, you know. But yeah, what I was gonna say though is I was talking to my mom about how it seems like these pimps were onto something back in the day, and she was just like, she was like, usually, like, I mean, she was like kind of agreeing with me, sort of. It's like I was like, I mean, they seem to have been onto something. I was like, I'm not gonna condone what they did and say it was a great way to live, and but it just seemed that they understood just how to get into people. I mean, not even just with women, generally speaking, a great way to get into people's heads is to break them down first and then offer small kindnesses or small acts of kindness after you finish breaking them down. It's a great way to get in someone's head. Yeah.
It is. It is. It works on everyone. Like and
Yeah.
like people do it unconsciously even sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like bro, like you'll see parents use that kind of tactic all the time. Like they're not like I'm not gonna say they never do this, but I'm saying like even the people who are kinder parents, they'll say some kind of fucked up shit. Like the boogeyman. It's kind of like that. It's like you want your kid not to do something, you make up a boogeyman. Hey, don't do it. He's gonna get you. And then you
Yes.
come and you're the hero. He's like, see, I'll
You
protect you from
rescue them.
boogeyman. Yeah, you're rescuing them from a villain of your own creation, kind of shit, right? Like it's just like something like that.
That's hilarious that you mentioned that because for two things. The first thing I'm going to say to segue into things is hold on is if you want to keep your money safe so you don't end up like Wendy Williams with them draining your fucking bank account, you have to be careful. That's really what happened to her,
No,
bro.
no, it just sounds like you're about to do a sponsored ad.
Oh,
I was like, damn, nigga,
maybe.
we sponsored
Yeah.
already.
But fucking you gotta make sure to keep your money safe, right? You gotta make sure you put your money in safe places. And the funny thing, the other thing that was so funny, what you just mentioned about
The
the
boogeyman.
you using the boogeyman and causing trouble, is the way this whole thing kicked off is because like Sam Bankman-Fried's big rival, the leader of Binance, right? We'll get his name correct. Shangpeng Zhao, right? What he did, right? Basically, they were rivals. He made a tweet kind of starting the rumors that they didn't have the actual, what was I say, the actual they didn't have the cash, basically. They didn't have the actual cash. And he started these rumors. Everything starts tanking with FTX, and then he comes in offering to buy them out, playing the hero of the
Ooh,
situation. He
ooh,
created
that's the
it.
oldest trick in the book.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like everyone was, he claimed he was like trying to act like it wasn't like based on personal thing or whatever, but no, it was clearly personal vendetta. But he fucking won, bro.
Yeah,
He
he
fucking
fucking
won.
won.
that
Played the shit
was
out of them people,
that was
bro.
a Xander gamble if I ever saw one. Because even if you don't tank, because like he created a scenario where he couldn't lose. It's like no matter what, putting out a tweet like that will weaken your competitor, right?
Yeah,
Even if it doesn't weaken them forever, it will weaken them. But then if it turns out what you're saying is actually very true and you weaken them to the point of no return, you could swoop in and get rid of your biggest competitor completely. You
bro.
know,
He's
by
been
giving them
learning
an
from
offer.
the Americans, my guy. He's
Yeah,
been learning, bro. he really opened up the history books and was like, oh, that's how they did that shit, bro.
Yeah, some Sung Tzu shit right there. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh
But
man, imagine losing your whole business to a tweet. That's just
yeah,
crazy,
I mean,
bro.
shit like that happens all the time,
I
though.
know. Look,
Mm.
man, like we're both not on Twitter that much, but the power of Twitter go crazy.
Yeah,
Twitter's
I mean,
power is crazy, bro.
it is crazy. But that's just like I said, you just because so many people had their money sitting there in FTX, the crypto exchange, and on one hand, you can't blame them because FTX had so much support. They had fucking celebrities, they had finance YouTubers, everybody propping them up as like the way to go with your crypto. Like it just makes sense, right? So like you as a normal consumer, you don't know what you're doing. You're gonna trust. You're gonna make the classic mistake. You're gonna trust authority and take their credibility and think they actually know what they're talking about.
Man, that's why I don't leave all my money sitting in one place. Like I can't do that. Like I
I mean,
cannot
yeah,
do
that's
that.
the other thing. So, what do you do with your specific investments to keep them
Oh,
safe?
I keep it under my mattress.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah,
Imagine that
a
people.
fire
All right,
retardant
bro.
mattress. Oh,
Please, if I don't care if one person sees this. If you keep your money under your mattress, please stop. I know you don't trust the banks, but oh my god,
I mean,
that is just worse. Keeping your
most
money under your
people.
mattress is worse than trusting the banks.
Putting your money in the bank is almost just as retarded as
No, it's literally worse.
it's worse. Yeah, it's
It is
objective.
literally worse.
Yeah,
Cause
but I'm
all
saying your
right,
money
say this
still loses
right. The
value.
bank at least guarantees that, like, I think it was like 250K, that much, at least that much.
Well,
So
see, that's if things are going well. If things start to fuck up, like when it happened to some of that among some of
the
the first
recessions and stuff.
crashes, yeah, some of the first crashes, they'll just not give you your money back. They'll just say,
Yeah. All right. So like, but that is a rarer scenario
yeah, yeah,
than if
true,
one you can get robbed, your house
true.
catches
Yeah,
fire,
there's a yeah,
you one too many people just know where your money stay, so they just be
yes,
dipping their hands in the pot. You're not aware
yes.
of it. It is just worse than
Yes,
keeping
it
your
makes
money.
no sense. Yeah,
So
but most of the people keeping their money under a mattress are probably criminals, so they have no choice.
oh, there's always a choice, baby. There's always a choice.
Well, they could start a
Just become a
business.
better criminal. Just become a
Oh,
better
become a
criminal.
better. Oh yeah, become a businessman. Yeah, that's how you become a
Yes.
better
Um,
criminal. Become a business.
business is just legal crime. You're right. But
Some of them anyway.
so personally, you have your investments, and I really don't care what you invest in because I'm not a day trader. Like I'm not also not a financial advisor, so I don't even give a fuck. Just invest in something. Like find your
Yeah.
passion,
What do
figure
you
out
do?
what.
What do you do to prevent it all from crashing?
Well, I'm about to tell you right now. So, like, specifically, like, if you want to invest, I feel like you should find a passion. Like, say your passion is cars, right? Say you learning about all the cool shit that car companies are doing, and I'm not talking about Ford is putting out a new car. No, I'm talking about like the deeper levels. Like, yo, these types of engines are being made. These type of money moves are being made. This is how the subscription services are gonna be done. Shit like that. Then you have it's not necessarily insider information, but you know more than me at that point, right? So when
Mhm.
you hear, say, BMW's doing that fucking subscription service to, if you want to have your heated seats, you're gonna have to pay them a monthly fee. If you hear some shit like that and you see that they're doing testing and it's not going well, don't invest in, don't invest in BMW. It's like that simple. Like you just move your money
Mhm.
from BMW to somewhere else. You hear, for example, Tesla is gonna unveil a brand new something. Invest in Tesla because you know that it's about to go up. Stuff like that. If you don't want to do any of that, you just follow. You just find some ETFs that track the S&P 500. They generally go up. Just constantly put some money in there. Constantly put your money in there.
Oh, did EJ just join?
Yes, he did. He ruined my
Yeah.
entire thing. Turn your video off.
But yeah, I mean, what I tend to do with my stocks, well, they're not as balanced as I would like them to be. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like I have it in a bunch of different things, but like when I look, it's not as balanced as like I need to invest in other things, like maybe like water, that kind of stuff. Just like I'm trying to balance it more. Is
So
what I'm saying.
that's why I just go with those ETFs because it's like buying a bunch of slices of pie instead of just going out and buying individual slices of pie yourself.
Yeah.
Um, it is a lot more. Like you're not gonna become rich off of it overnight, which is
No.
not my goal anyway. So you get your paycheck, $50 stock, $50 stock, and even if like you're not making crazy amounts of money, if you just like set that shit on auto pay and forget about it, in a few years, maybe you have a bad day, you're like, damn, I really need some extra cash, and you just remember, it's like, oh yeah, I had some. It's almost like having an emergency account sometimes.
True.
Um,
I mean, I won't lie. Like there have been times where I'm looking, I'm like, damn, I'm experiencing an emergency. I didn't take any money out, but I would look at that stock thing and be tempted to be like, shit, that's actually a lot of money. I was like, if I liquidate some of this could help me out a lot.
I won't even lie. I had to once. I had to just take some money on my stocks because
Yeah.
I needed to. You know, like
I did that with my normal savings accounts. I just took the money out of them. Yeah, the reason I didn't want to touch the stocks is because I was like, the stocks can, rise and fall. I was like, I don't want to affect it. I was like, I'm gonna leave it alone. I was like, savings accounts, there's interest, but the interest isn't as like wild and unpredictable as they are with stocks.
I recently got a dedicated high yield savings account, and actually over the like 2 months that my money's been in there, the interest on it has gone up. They're like, hey, by the way, the interest is going up. It was like
Yeah,
it was at like two something, two point
like a
something
few
percent.
cents.
And then it hit 3%, and I think right now it's at 3.1%. So I was just like, my money's growing just by leaving it there. You know, that's
Yeah,
pretty
I'm gonna
good.
do the same thing. I had to drain quite a bit from my high yield.
Yeah, yeah, you had some fun.
Yeah, I had to train a bunch, but I'm gonna start trying to actually because it's supposed to maturate soon. So my plan is to let it maturate, then start over again. I was talking to a girl about this, about how I was getting angry because I kept spending a lot of the money I was saving, and then she was just like, "I mean, it's all right. Sometimes you gotta have fun." And I was like, "Oh, she has a point." I was like, "I did sacrifice a lot." I was like, maybe the pendulum just swung, and I just gotta let it be. You know what I mean?
I mean, sometimes you do just gotta have fun. Because I will admit, I spent a lot of money just recently on something that I will never regret spending the money. Even if I went broke today, I would not regret spending the money. I'll show you. I'll show you what it is in like 2 months. Um,
Okay.
but oh my
You
god,
look at you saw how you looked at his
bro,
hand.
I keep doing that because I used to wear this watch a lot, right? So it'd be right here. It'd be right here.
It's
But
like that episode of SpongeBob. Remember Patrick had the watch drawn
with
on
the
his
drawing
wrist?
arm, yeah.
Yeah,
All habits die hard. Sometimes I really do catch myself. It's like, oh, what time is it? Just look at my wrist. And you gotta
I
play
mean,
it off. You can't be like, oh, there's nothing there. So I just look at
oh,
it. It's like, ah.
I used to do it on purpose as a joke, so because I thought it was funny, and I do it sometimes. The reason I love doing that so much is because it reminds me of Back to the Future when he's coming out of the car on the poster and he's looking at the watch.
Yeah,
That
I
shit, that's
remember.
one of the coldest poses of all time. The fucking with the lifting the glasses and looking at the watch. Tell me that shit's not cold as hell.
Nah, like instantly recognizable. Like you just mentioned it. I was like, I know exactly what scene he's talking about. You know.
Yeah. But Eric, what do you sorry, EJ, what do you do to keep your money safe?
I
What
don't.
do you mean?
Okay,
What do
well,
you
I'm gonna give
mean?
you some context first so you can understand. Recently, you're gonna like this because your boy, your I remember your uncle, not your uncle, your cousin. Is it your cousin that I met at the barbecue, or was it your uncle?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, both of them were there.
Okay. Oh, your uncle was the one barbecuing, right?
Yeah. No, that was my cousin.
Your cousin.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
your
was my
uncle.
cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, your uncle is your cousin older than your uncle? Oh, he just
Uh,
looked a little like not old in a bad way. I'm just saying he looked
yeah.
old.
Yeah. Yeah. He is.
Okay, there you go. Anyways, yeah, he was talking to you, he was trying to convince you to invest in crypto. And recently there was this big cryptocurrency platform called FTX that crypto exchange. And people were investing in there hardcore, keeping a lot of their crypto there. and basically they had a lot of support. They had celebrities supporting them. They were in the news. The guy was like a media darling. They called him the most generous billionaire. Like, he's like the nicest, most charitable billionaire. That's what they kept calling him. Um, he had finance influencers endorsing him, and then it turns out, all that there was a lot of smoke but no fire, and the people behind the company were pretty much fucking each other, like they're all having sex with each other. You got people there on amphetamines, like they're on drugs. They're fucking stealing money. That's the other thing that's been exposed. And basically everything tanks. People go from being billionaires to fucking penniless overnight. So that's what made me start, decide that we should talk about how we keep our money safe and how to be careful where you put your money. So what do you do anything to prevent?
No, I just keep it in my bank account, just like any other average human being that walks this planet Earth.
That's bad.
You don't
Uh,
you don't try to diversify a little bit?
Nah, I mean that's something I thought about, but
No, you should just, bro.
I got good spending habits.
See, it's beyond just having good spending habits, right? Like, it's just you
I mean,
leaving
good
money on the
saving
table.
habits.
Like just keeping it in like a regular bank saving account. Like, you're just earning less than if you had just opened up a different account. You know, like I, you weren't here, but I just talked about how the
Yeah,
savings account that I opened up with this other bank, right? It's just 3%. It's just 3%. If you have Chase, it's like 0.01% or something. It's like there is literally zero reason for you to have one account versus the other account. Like, you might as well just do it. It doesn't. It's not even effort. It doesn't cost you money. Like, just gaining that
I
little
mean
bit of information.
there are better ways. I'm not denying that.
But I was
I
saying, like,
just
it's like,
yeah, I just haven't done it. But I
do it.
mean,
Do it
the
right
way
now.
I've been doing it.
Open
The
your
way I've
laptop.
been doing it so far, I've been working.
I mean,
Are you a sales rep for them on the low? Like, are you?
yeah. Use my sponsored link.
Yeah, you clocking in? Like,
Well, you missed
I
it.
see, I see the polo. You got the polo on. You look like a
I'm
salesman.
always at work, bro.
You missed it earlier when I did this clean segue where I was like, well, if you want to keep your money safe so you don't end up like Wendy Williams losing all your money,
It
and
sounded like just like a
I
ad
did. I
read,
sounded like
bro.
I was about to go into a sponsored ad or some shit. But yeah, man, it's like diversifying your money. One can make you, yes, it can lead to gains because putting all your eggs in one basket usually is like not as advantageous as spreading it out a little bit. Like even investing in stocks, you have to do the same thing.
But what if you could make more eggs? People always say,
See,
but yeah,
nah, because all right, even with that, I don't know. Is it an analogy? I think
It
so.
wasn't
that's
a
a
one to
that's
one.
a
Even with
con
that, even
that's a
with that,
common saying.
even with that
Yeah,
analogy, there, it's like, all right, cool. I can keep making more eggs, but it's like, if my eggs can make more eggs, why am I putting in the effort to make more eggs?
yeah.
And
But
even if I
anyway,
could make more eggs, if I can make my eggs make more eggs, why not do both and get a shit ton more eggs?
yeah.
Right,
But the
right.
thing is, right? It also keeps your money safe. Like if something, God forbid, something crazy happens, like we experience a severe financial collapse, you have other venues of making money, other things, like some people even don't even just invest in like stocks and stuff. They'll invest in tangibles, but like tangibles that have value.
Like
So
gold.
people invest in art pieces, comic books, gold, antiques,
Real estate's just
kind of
investment,
things,
bro. Like
real estate, cars. Some people will buy cars, and I mean it's not that good of an idea, but some people do that. They'll buy like luxury cars and keep them as representation of their financial value. Again, it's not really a good idea to do that. So do not buy a car to make money unless you're gonna use it.
yeah, no,
Like
I mean,
cars are
if
not a good investment.
yeah,
Usually.
if
we
you're
could,
gonna rent them out, and people are gonna use it, then you can make a lot of money doing that shit. People do it all the time.
but
Yeah.
what good is any of those tangible goods during a rough like financial crisis
Their
like the one you were
value
speaking of?
usually does not decrease even if the world's on fire, is why.
Somebody's gonna be looking for a piece of art during the time of
Um,
strife.
it's like
Honestly,
it's these things over time, because your money's value will go up and down a lot sooner than the value of an art piece. Like, especially if you like, for example, art pieces, if it's already valuable, the longer you have it, the more value it usually gets.
Mhm.
Like imagine you just had the Mona Lisa on you the whole time, bro.
I mean, come on though. Like, not
No, I'm
every
just like
artwork is the
this
Mona
is
Lisa.
just an example, right? Like just it's just the easiest to understand, the easiest to wrap your head around. It's like the longer you have the Mona Lisa, like more and more people are going to be searching for it and wanting for it. And even if you don't have something as famous as the Mona Lisa, you could just have valuable art pieces, right? Like you just have some actually, especially if it's in the art world, if you're in part of that scene, they know a lot more about the kinds of things that make something valuable or not valuable, right? So even in times of financial like insecurities, right? Even say oh America's having an issue, your art it probably has value outside of America anyway. So even if America's on fire, though other countries like still deem your shit valuable, you still have your worth.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus it's like you do have to keep a certain amount of your money liquid, meaning that you can draw it out right away. But even if you keep your money in a bank, you would think that it's liquid, but it actually isn't. Like there's a set limit to how much you can take out at any given time. So it's not as liquid as you would think. But basically, you have liquid income and you have like your net worth, like your not liquid stuff, right? And I mean, like I said, you have both. Like the net worth is kind of like, I guess, more of a safeguard. The liquid is like for absolute emergency. Like liquid is like you should always have liquid income just in case something goes wrong. Which is what I'm trying to. I mean, I have a decent amount of liquid income, but I had way more before. It did help me a bunch of times. I'm not gonna lie. Like a lot of times, I used to kill people because I'm like, oh, my rent is due, right? And like I'd only have like $10 in my bank account. And people be like, how the fuck are you gonna pay your rent? I'm like, oh, it's fine. I can pay it. It's just I just pretend to be poor. That's what I was telling
No,
them.
yeah, no, I gotta pretend to be poor too. I'm like, damn, can I really afford that $10? I know I can afford the $10, but I gotta really struggle with it mentally, just so I remember. It's like, yo, this can go away real soon, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, money. I remember a guy made a great analogy about money. It was like people treat money as a solid thing, as a physical, but money is spiritual. He's like, you have to understand that it's not a physical representation. Like it's a spiritual thing, you know. It has spiritual worth, and you have to treat it that way. Then I was like, oh shit, that's
I don't know
actually.
about all that.
Well, no, when he said that, he meant like you have to like. I'm trying to think of how to explain
I
this.
kind of get what he's reaching at, but it's just not. I guess I'm getting stuck on the one-on-one analogy of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Basically,
regardless of how good your spirit is, that ain't getting
no,
you
not
out
that,
a
not that.
dealership with a
Basically,
Lambo.
his point was if you have your money flashing around like an idiot and wasting it to trying to show you have money, it makes no sense. It makes it's more worth, like it has more worth when you have it vested in things and like traveling within a network. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to
I
say.
get no, I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a great point. I was like, oh, this man is right. It's like because when those rappers are sitting there flashing out their bills, that's worthless. Like it doesn't mean anything. Like anyone can go and get their hands on like a quick lick and flash some bills. It's what you do with the money that determines its worth, right? The money itself is technically worthless, but what
Yeah,
you
like if
do
it's
with
just sitting in your bank account, there's no
yeah,
difference between having $1 million and $0 technically.
exactly, because you can lose that shit at any moment, like you said. Your house could fucking burn down, and then now you got to use all that money that was sitting in your bank account. It's like let's say you had like a fucking $1 million, right? You had $1 million. You're so proud to have the million. You've done nothing with it. It hasn't grown in years. You're just sitting there talking about how I'm a millionaire. Like you're just talking shit. Then your fucking house burns down, and you got to drop. You're gonna have to do that. Million is gonna go down to like $500 in like a
Yeah.
few months trying to fix all that damage. You know. But yeah, I guess we can move on.
Yeah,
Before you guys remember that none of us are financially literate.
yeah.
We're
We are not financial
Yeah.
advisors. We
we're a
You
just
bunch of
sure?
20-year-old idiots. Like we don't know what the fuck we're talking
You
about.
sure that Polo says otherwise?
We
well,
know the basics, but we know the basics only because we stand on the shoulders of giants. Have to keep that in our minds. We listen to the people who know what they're talking about.
but only sometimes, because those people
Only
can be wrong.
those people can be wrong, which is part of why all this happened. those people were wrong. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about the dangers of overstimulation. Do you guys know what that is?
Ooh. I mean, I don't know
Well,
exactly what
well,
you're talking about.
even if we did explain it for the the average viewer.
Indeed.
Yeah. Oh, I should explain it. Okay. So overstimulation is I guess the best way to sum it up is doing too much. So basically, your mind is always fixated on something. You're watching YouTube videos, you're using social media, you're listening to music all the time. You're always doing something to your brain.
Overconsumption.
You don't give your brain any rest period or any time to recalibrate and focus, right? And it's shown that it can lead to a very distracted and stressed out individual, stressed out mind, and set everything in your life out of whack. So what do you guys think about that?
I agree wholeheartedly. Honestly,
Yeah, just go to therapy though.
just go to
If it gets that bad.
Nah,
But
like
there
I
is gonna
genuinely
be
do believe that people are doing too many things at once, bro. Like when I used to be at work, and my man was out here doing his assignment, watching YouTube, and playing TFT all at the same time. And I was like, that's too much, bro. You gotta stop. He was like, what? Because like he wasn't even watching the YouTube. It was just on, right? So it was just on. He's focusing on the game, but then he like when he like does the thing in the game, he goes back into some things in the work. I was like, yeah, just do your work. Just stop. Like you don't gotta do all
focus
that.
on one thing at a time. Yeah.
And like I'm not even saying you can't listen to YouTube or music while you do your job. It's just like you trying to do too much. Like you will definitely like it'll get to the point where like when you're not doing that much, you feel like you're what's the word for it? Like you're wasting time. And it's like, bro,
Music might be an exception because how many times people throw on music in the background while they're doing something
that's
like
what I was
cleaning
trying
their
to
house
say. It's like music,
or
like doing multitasking is the issue. So when you're like trying to like maximize all your time all the time, you're not doing things as efficiently, right? Like everyone loves to say that they can multitask, but most people can't. Most people cannot do that shit. Hold on a second. Yeah.
chew gum and walk on the street at the same time.
And the other thing, it's like,
I'll be right
okay,
back.
even with the music thing, right? Like even I notice listening to music too often can fuck you up. It's like because you're in your head. Moments where you should just be chilling, you want to listen to some music. Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes you feel like you can't do anything without the music. Like that's how it got for me because you already know I listen to a lot of fucking music. I
yeah.
listen to a lot of music, and that's how I be feeling sometimes, bro. Like I'll go to the gym, and like I remember one time I went to the gym and I decided not to bring my headphones, and it just was torture, bro. Like I was sitting there trying to do it. I was like, yo, why does this feel 10 times harder than it did yesterday? I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, I mean, then again, I was lifting heavier than I was the previous days. That might have been part of it. But it's like it's like Ray was saying, right? If you don't take the time to focus or to give your brain brief reprieves, right? Then it just leads to you delivering like lower quality work. Your emotional regulation is fucked. You're stressed out all the time because you don't give your brain any rest, and your brain is like distracted. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Yeah. Do you ever struggle with that, trying to focus?
Definitely. I mean, definitely with the music thing, I feel like I've overdone it. Just being in situations where I didn't need music, but just I'm so fixated on grabbing my headphones and
Yeah.
plugging them in that like I didn't even notice it until like I started getting around people. Like I remember just like the other day when I was hanging out with my cousin, we was walking by Domino Park, and I was just instead of just taking in the scenery and not even taking in the scenery, but just being next to him and having a conversation, my default thing was to just grab my headphones, plug it in. Like I automatically defaulted to that, and I was like, damn. And he was like, yo, like all you do is every time I'm around you is be listening to music. And I don't know, I see it as a good way of zoning out.
Yeah.
Even when I don't need to, like I don't need to be listening to music. I could just walk around without it. But I'm
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
used to doing it.
Yeah. I've been trying a lot to not do it as often. I still listen to music as I'm walking sometimes, but I do try to consciously like do nothing sometimes, or to do one thing at a time. You get what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
do try, and I do some meditating to try to shut my brain down. It's amazing how quick that shit works now that I know how to do it, bro. Like I will literally be sitting there feeling anxious as fuck. Like that was what happened the other day. It was weird. I don't know what was going on, but I felt fucking anxious as hell. Felt weird, and then like did some meditation. Felt better fucking immediately. I was like, oh fuck, I feel so much better now. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's just it feels foreign when you drop it. I guess like any habit that you stop doing cold turkey, like it just feels different. I can't envision myself. Probably a minute since I've taken the train without listening to music. Like just going on a whole 1 hour ride on the
Yeah.
train without listening to music at all. Just nothing. You know?
sometimes sometimes a good way to break a habit is to try and like replace it with a more healthy one. So like a good example with the music thing, right? Let's say you want to make it so that you can go longer without listening to music. Because I don't think you should. It shouldn't be like you shouldn't be ashamed of the fact that you like listening to music. Like, of course, it help. Music has been shown to help like stabilize your brain waves, your emotional regulation, all that kind of stuff. Like music can do wonders if you're listening to good music, right? Or music you enjoy. But basically, like something I do, but I like reading anyway, so this wasn't very hard for me. I'll read instead. Like I'll listen to some music a
Yeah.
little bit.
I tried doing that, but I can't focus.
Yeah,
When I read, I have to be isolated in my own home.
I
true,
agree.
true,
No distractions to really understand what I'm reading, to really take it in. And I feel like on the train is just sometimes you get on the train car is quiet, but I feel like it's a bunch of distractions,
true,
people having conversations,
true.
somebody wilding out.
Like wild out.
Yeah. So I can't really get into the book or dive deep into it when I'm on the train.
Funny, cause I can. No,
You
Yeah.
said
I
you
I, I
can't.
literally I literally was running on the treadmill reading something. I was just like,
Oh,
oh
a lot
my
of people
god.
do that actually. They won't do it like that. They'll have like a Kindle, and they'll do it like that. Or sometimes it's not like it's kind of like reading, not the same, but they'll be listening to an audible thing, something like that, as they're running on
Yeah,
the treadmill.
but I did hear what you were talking about. How you can't sit on the train for like an hour without music. I can, easy, no problem,
I've
bro.
Can't
done
do
it.
that. Can't do that.
Bro, I told you I deleted Spotify, right? Like I literally have been driving for an hour plus, just silent, just
Yeah, those moments. You know what you're doing, right?
Turn left. Turn right.
Technically, you're meditating. Technically, you're meditating. You're just not doing it the way because there are multiple types of meditation. You're kind of meditating when you sit there
yo, bro.
focusing, just
He's
doing
Rewind.
nothing.
focusing on making it home safe or
I'm sorry.
whatever. Going
No,
to
because
going getting to your
because
destination state.
here's why, right? The thing with meditation is you're focusing on your breath, and that's your primary focus. Like other thoughts will come in, but you have to remember to refocus on your breath. With driving, right? If you're focusing only on the driving and you're being silent, other thoughts will come in, but at the end of the day, you have to refocus on the driving so you don't die. It's like so it's very
You'd
similar.
actually be very surprised on how little you gotta focus on driving when you know where you're
True,
going
true.
already.
I mean, you
Only
you
when
also
you know where you're going already. Like, bro, there have been times I was driving and then I snapped back to reality. I was like, how the fuck did I get?
I mean, it's like that with meditating too. Like it takes very well. I guess this is gonna make me sound like an elitist, but it takes very little to focus on your breath. But at the same time, it does take just enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you definitely gotta like pay attention when you're driving. Cause like
Yeah,
like you've been in the car with me where I see some stuff and you're like, what was that? I was like, yeah, that guy over there, like 3 lanes, he was about to do some stuff, so I had to do.
yeah.
So it is weird, but that overstimulation stuff, yeah, no, I can't be doing triple duty for things. Like I don't even watch shows if I'm not going to focus on it. Like I can have a show in the background, but I only if I know I will not focus on it. It can't be a show that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch this show. I'm not throwing that bitch on while I'm at work. I'm not doing that. If it's
You you can
oh, I'm
you
doing a
can't.
rewatch or oh, it's something I don't care about, I'll throw it on and be at work. I can't a show that I'm like invested in, can't do
Yeah, keeping up with the Kardashians, you definitely can't play that without focusing on it, right?
it. Yeah, bro, I gotta know about all the juicy details, bro. Who's Kim marrying now? I gotta stay plugged in.
Remember that time? I was watching that new show Adult Swim had, Bird Girl or whatever,
Oh yeah.
and I think I said I'm gonna give it 5 minutes. Is that what I said? Was it 5
It
minutes?
was not a long time at all. It was not a
I
long
said
time at
something like
all.
I'm gonna give it 5 minutes to make me laugh, and if it doesn't, I'm turning it off. And then it failed, and I turned it off. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and lock it off.
Yeah, but I feel like you went into it with this preconceived notion
No,
of how
not
you
even
felt
one.
about
I
it.
wanted it to be
Yeah,
good,
no, he
bro.
wanted it to be good. I do remember that. He
It's a
did not
fuck.
want
It
to
was
be
a.
bad.
It was a fucking like sequel of sorts. It seemed like a spiritual sequel to Harvey Birdman, and that was one of my favorite Adult Swim shows ever. So I was like, okay, this show, I hope it's good. I was like, I hope, but it wasn't. It was just it was just random shit going on, and I was like, this is not funny. It's funny because Adult Swim is the king of random shit, but this was not the good kind of random shit. It was just actually random and not funny whatsoever.
It was just shit.
Yeah, just shit. Yeah, just shit happening on screen. Yeah, kind of like when we were, a prime premier example of overstimulation. I feel like I struggle with it a lot. If too much shit is going on for no reason, and I'm watching, like, let's say even in a work of fiction, that shit annoys me so much. Like, I remember we were watching Promare. That's what was happening. It was just like random bullshit just happening, mad colors and explosions. In my head, I'm just like, yo, y'all doing too much. Like, just focus on some, like, you look at old school anime, they'll focus on the fluid movements of the character. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, look at something like Samurai Champloo, like fluid movements.
You
That
seen
kind
that?
of course.
You
He's
finished
like,
it?
you're cultured? Oh.
No one,
I didn't know you saw. I didn't know you saw that. I am thoroughly impressed by that. Okay.
Damn, he thought you were a loser.
First of all,
Loser.
first of all, first of all, bro.
I thought you probably heard a OST or you probably saw the opening, but you ain't really watch it. I didn't think you really watched it.
I haven't sat down and watched the entire thing.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So I am right for
But my
having
thing
that
is,
reaction.
I mean, you gotta
Go
remember,
watch that. Go watch that.
I didn't like anime, bro. I did not like anime.
Well, you
So
like it now, so what's the
I like it
excuse?
now. Yes, I'll check it out.
I mean,
But I had,
bro, I won't lie. Going back to some older shows is just hard. It's just hard.
Is it?
Like, I like Trigun.
It's good?
Trigun is top 17 in my book, bro. But I can't go back
That's
and watch
it?
it, bro. Like,
I don't know. Not for me. That's
17?
that's hard, bro. Nah,
I go back.
Trigun is really, really good. Top 5, really.
Basically, in Western animation, some of the peak of Western animation, people are going to mention Batman the animated series, of course. I have
Batman Beyond. Yeah.
I have a very weird take. Batman the animated series is good, but I just don't think it's as consistently good as people think it is. That's just my favorite. Because when you look at some of the earlier episodes of Batman the animated series, mein Gott, there are some bad episodes in that show. I'm just gonna be honest.
It's not as good as Batman Beyond, but it's good.
Oh, Batman Beyond. That show is fucking peak. That show is beautiful.
You know a show that I also really, really like, but I can never go watch it again? I like Digimon Adventure 1, bro. I can never watch that shit again, bro.
No, but here's the thing.
No, wait, time out. Hold up 1 second. Because the story in Adventure 1 is pretty good. You know, for a kid, it's pretty good. But the quality of the show itself is so bad. I can't do it.
See, that's the thing. I go back and watch that show Gargoyles all the time.
Yeah.
That shit is peak Western animation. Gargoyles, that shit is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watch it all the time. The animation isn't that good, you know? And there's some goofy shit. Like, I remember I was watching an episode, they were fighting like near like one of the season's finales. They're fighting this villain named Oberon. And Oberon is literally like a fairy. Like, he's one of those people from the fairy. I think that's what their land is called.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the way to fight one is you use iron. That's what you're supposed to do. And the police are shooting at him with some fucking laser shit. And I'm like, see? Because of all that censorship shit, they can't just shoot at him with bullets. I was like, if they would shoot at him with bullets, some iron bullets, they could stop him. But censorship. So, cartoons can't have them shooting actual guns back in those days. Yeah. I mean, and it's funny, Gargoyle is actually the guy I was just talking about who destroyed FTX with just a tweet. What he did was a Xanatos Gambit. And where did the Xanatos Gambit come from? Gargoyles.
Loki wanted to be a gargoyle growing up, man. Seeing that show.
That's goofy. I'm sorry.
You know who I wanted? I wanted to be David fucking Xanatos. That's who I wanted to be. That man was a fucking god, bro. David was a Chad before Chads existed. That man was That man was insane.
But what I was talking about when I say the show was bad, I'm not even talking about animation because animation does evolve, and like I can go back and watch some older shows. Like I think Full Metal, like both of them, they look good as is. Trigun, it looks good as is. Big O looks good as is. But there are certain shows, there are elements of the older shows, like the just core structure, like just how the show was paced, how the jokes were laid out, just stuff like that. That shit is hard to go back to after the years and years of incremental improvements you've put onto things. So, for example, in Digimon Adventure 1, the transformation was half the episode. Especially there were 6 bitches. There were 6 of them motherfucking things that got to transform. All right, just go to the next episode, bro. They not scrapping right now. None of that shit's happening. And over time, you can literally see, even in Adventure 1, like in the later episodes, they abridged it. Like they got faster. And then the sequel series, they got even faster. They just got better at like pacing those types of things. So it's really hard to go back. That's all I mean. It's like, damn, you went from driving a brand new sports car and now you gotta go drive a fucking 2000 jalopy. You're gonna be like, damn, this is not it, right? It's kind of like
wrong with a jalopy.
See, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's gonna feel so. It's gonna feel
Nah,
so
bro. It seems like
different,
something's wrong, bro.
You don't like that vintage look?
No, like I'm saying, like the looks can be fine, but like the actual driving, you will just feel such a significant difference.
The mechanics are dated.
Yeah, like you will feel such a significant difference.
We talk about cars now.
we went, bro. We want to talk about cars. My car got. I don't know nothing about no cars.
You were talking about overstimulation, and we lost the thread so bad. You started talking about we're the ones who fucking overstimulated.
Lock it up.
It's wild because I have noticed that like we will have conversations like this, but people. It's not like you can't follow the train of thoughts that we were on, right? Like sure, if you like outside looking in and you just saw like the spark notes, you'd be like, how the fuck they go from A to Z, right? Like you'd be like, what the fuck? How did this jump happen? But as you are in the conversation, it makes a lot of sense.
And this is what a natural conversation looks like, right?
Yes, correct. And it's just so wild because people who are usually more overstimulated, they cannot do that. They can't talk.
They can't go back. They can't like talk about something, then go back to what they were talking about before.
They also just can't really connect the dots and relate to things. Like I'm sure some people can. Like Ben can. Ben can somehow juggle all this shit in his head, right? Good for him. But there are other people I know who just cannot do that shit. Where they're like talking to you about one thing, you're like, oh, like this, and then they're like, how does that relate? And it's like, what do you mean? How do you not see how they relate? Like, just like, there's like, and it's just so funny because they will claim that they can do all these other things, like all at the same time, but then you just like, you're trying to relate something to something else, and they're like, but apples aren't oranges though.
Yeah. Or they don't know how to, and sometimes some people don't know how to, like, they don't know how to, I was just watching something about this too. They don't know how to see the nuances in things. Like, they don't, like, because I guess their brains are so overstimulated and so they can't focus on the minute the minute details, right? Like, they will not, you can show them two things. There will be differences, but they can't tell because they can only see things very generally. Like, they only have a very general view and general opinions and that kind of stuff. I struggle with that a lot, where I'm trying to point out to someone that, like, so for example, someone will make a 1-to-1 or a hypothetical, and I'll just notice things in a hypothetical that make no sense, that don't equate.
Oh,
like
someone used to do that, where like surface level it would look like a 1-to-1, but then if you broke it down, he's like, all right, and like this is only because in that 1-to-1 they were trying to make it as like this is as exact as possible, right? And I was like, well, if you want to go with that, this, and this are all different, and that changes the context of everything we're talking about. And he's like, well, you can't take it that seriously. No, you wanted me to take it that seriously. That's the reason you brought it up.
Remember, Ray, when you were saying that people don't take it to the right extreme when making certain comparisons.
Like when Tate was talking about, or was it someone else talking about cars?
XQC.
Someone was talking about cars.
XQC, yeah.
And it was just like, he wasn't saying it is exactly like a car.
You don't park your girl on the curb.
Yeah, like, you don't do all that. but it was just like the idea, like the very simple idea, is what he was trying to relate to, not the exact idea. And sometimes you gotta clarify, sometimes you don't gotta clarify.
Well, see, some people will make what they think is a simple representation, but even on the basis of the simplicity, it doesn't make any sense. And I was trying to point that out. Like, nah, I was like, those things are not the same. I was like, it seems the same, but it's not. I was like, trying to say, I was like,
yeah, I can't even give you the first pass before I get to the second part. Like, I can't even give you that initial pass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people really don't realize how. But I mean, back to the thing of overstimulation, though. Like, overstimulation can. No, I was gonna say it can really fuck you up because I remember I knew this girl.
Like that hairline.
Oh my god.
Yo, we gotta find the clip or some shit of someone falling back in slow motion. Every time the hairline thing happens, just maybe fucking Kaiba as he's getting sent to the shadow realm. That is But anyways, yeah. So like, it was like the books she would read, bro. It was just all this like depressing shit. Like it was just all this information, right? And I was trying to explain to her, I was like, yo, filling your head with that much information, like all those discordant bits of info, I was like, it can really fuck you up. That's what I was trying to tell her. I was like, that shit can fuck you up. You gotta be careful. And she wouldn't listen to me. And I remember you'd be having a conversation with her, and like she would literally be like, oh, I don't think I can talk about this right now. I'm too overstimulated. And I was like, that's because you read all those fucking dumb books. I was like, take a breather, She's like, oh, but I can't. I need to consume information. And I was like, one, I didn't even think the information she was consuming was useful. That was my first problem. Like, if you're consuming a bunch of like biased, pointless information, I mean, should I wait for him to finish?
Yeah.
Why did he just mute himself?
Yeah, you can just mute yourself, bruh. No.
Mute you guys.
The whole world got some inside info.
Nah, the stream was muted. You guys heard it. I hope. Yeah. I don't fucking know.
Oh, the stream was muted?
Yeah.
Wait, did you mute all of us?
No, just me.
Okay.
I'm on a different channel between you guys.
Okay, cool. Well, anyways, so yeah, the fucking she would read all these like books, and like I didn't think the information was useful, and she's completely filling her head with so much competing bits of information. I was trying to explain to her, I was like, you're stressing your brain out. Like your brain is gonna be fucked after you do this stuff. I was like, you got to be careful, and she wouldn't listen to me.
That's true. That's true though. A lot of people get caught up in that. That's the issue with some people in society. They feel like they need to do something, or I mean, not do something, but consume something because it's seen as productive. It's seen as what you should be doing, but it's not. It's not like what's that saying about like? There's no point in acquiring certain information if you're not applying it, or that doesn't really have any application towards your life. So at the end of the day, you're really just wasting time to be consuming all this information if it doesn't have no real world application to it for you,
or no relevance to you.
It has no relevancy. So it's more so people got to stop getting caught up on consuming the information and more so on the quality of the information.
I gotta take an opposite stance here because I love gathering random information. I just recognize that I'm doing it just because I like knowing random shit.
Well, but here's the difference, right? You so you take random information, but you still relax.
It's your perspective on it. It's you're not going into it with the perspective of, well, let me do something productive today.
Actually, also that's the other thing. These things are relevant to you. They fit with your interest and the things you study. Yeah. So they do fit to you, right?
You're not going against something,
But imagine if you had 16 computer screens and you sat there watching different sources of information from each one. Like that would fuck you up.
About that guy who
sounds awesome, actually.
Nah, this guy had 5 screens, right? And he said he would watch anime. He would watch 5 different. Bro, my man's did not speak Japanese. I was like, you can't do that. Even if you did speak the English language, there's no way you are sitting there absorbing all this information, bro. I doubt it, bro.
Yeah, there's no way you are absorbing it. But imagine if you actually were fucking trying to. Like, you're really sitting there trying to be like you just drive yourself fucking crazy.
That's awesome, actually. Not gonna lie.
I mean,
Nah,
someone like
it looks
Come
good
on.
for a TV screen, like the
like,
smart
have you-
characters just typing
like
away at 17 screens. But
Ozymandias could do that, but that's because he's a fictional character. Like he's a fucking fictional super genius.
It's
That's why
definitely unhealthy, but just that look, that visual. Like if you walked into somebody's house and you just seen them like
I
I
would
would
walk
think
right
they're
back out.
goofy as fuck, bro.
I would walk right back out.
I would be like, this
Like,
man is on some shit that I don't want to be on. I'm not trying to be like him.
yo, that shit looked like a dance. Yo, EJ, when you were moving the head around, it looked like a dance.
that reminds me of that John C. Riley gif. Let me see if I can find that shit.
But yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like, that's what this girl would do, bro. She'd read one book, go straight to the other, go straight to the other. And the thing is, you are watching like
Wait.
object.
You telling me she read the book and didn't even sit down and process what she read?
Nope. She'd move on to a next book
She
and
didn't
like
even sit with her thoughts and
Nope.
let that shit
Nope.
gather, bro.
she didn't even process because I've seen you. You'll watch something, and you've seen me do the same thing. You'll see me pause something. You've seen me do this. If I'm watching a video with some people talking, I will pause it and then start thinking about what they just said and start talking about it.
Because I'd be watching something and then this nigga start talking about the thing. I was like, nigga, let me finish the video first.
Because that's how I watch things. I pause them
Like, shut
repeatedly.
the fuck up, bro.
I pause. But I've seen like you'll watch
60-second video and man, it's 2 seconds in. He's like, actually, that don't even make no sense. I was like, nigga, bro, wait, just time
like
out.
you'll watch something and you'll be watching it and then you'll stop or you say you finish the video. You'll pause. You'll pause briefly for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, no, I definitely
You'll
do
pause
it
if
after
you're thinking about it. Yeah.
Unless
You're
it is some
thinking
actual wild information, then I pause. I'm like, wait a second, and then I rack the brain. But other than that, I'm just like, I'll like think about it as they're talking. Because I won't lie, I do the same thing. I was like, that don't make no sense. But I won't pause the video. But that made no sense.
Not even just to
And
say
I'm
like
just,
don't.
waiting.
Sometimes
No, I was just using that example because that's what you were doing in that one time.
Sometimes I will pause to like deeply consider what they said. Like I'll do that too. Like sometimes they'll say something that's very interesting to me, so I'll pause and be like, huh. Especially if it's something I've never heard before. I'll be like, huh.
Oh yeah,
and
no,
sit there
sometimes I gotta
thinking
rewind just to make sure I heard what they said correctly. I was like, no, they did not.
Yeah.
That was what? No way. No,
That's
oh,
it.
word. It's like that, bro. One of those.
Anyways,
things.
yeah. Guys, to keep your mind fresh, stop overstimulating it. Try and like find little rest periods. Try and relax every once in a while. Focus on silence. Try to be silent, like inner silence. Mental silence. But anyways,
that's overstimulation.
Yeah, no, that's pretty funny. I'm not
this
gonna
is what I'm telling you about, right? You ever seen this?
That show? No.
Dr. Steve Brule. Yeah, he's like.
I've seen that guy in that character. I've seen clips, but I'm not.
That shit was hilarious, man.
Overstimulation right there.
But anyways, guess we can move on to a little bit of a hypothetical to cap things off. All right, guys. If you were a dictator of a small country, what crazy dictator things would you do?
That's just such an open question. It's very hard for me to narrow down things because I'm like, do I have to be an asshole dictator or I'm just a dictator? Like I am just the supreme authority.
You just have an iron fist. You just run.
If I am the supreme authority. You know what? Here, let me give you the general idea. I would probably make it so that if any bad thing had to be done, I was the one doing it, type shit. So like how people you can build a lot of resentment for it's like kind of state versus like the people. I'd make it like, nah, it's not the state, it's just me. If you hate anybody, you hate me. And because even then it's like, all right, like even if they end up revolting, which I don't even think you would revolt, like you'd only kill me and the people would be fine. Like the people who were under my employment would be okay, because honestly they were just doing what they were told because they were trying to chase a check, so that's not fair. It's not fair that they gotta go down with the ship. That's
what you're doing is you incentivizing your own execution.
Yes.
No, but I'm saying that those niggas would kill you so fast.
That's only if I'm doing bad shit.
No, not just think. You would think, right? But if you had any political opponents, they're gonna kill your ass.
Look, man, you asked the question. That's just how it's gonna have to be.
Yeah. So what? But no, you don't have any ideas of things you would do.
I mean,
list a few laws, maybe like 3 laws. 3 laws you would have in your dictator world?
Man, like
Nothing basic. Think about
bro,
some
that's
things.
what I'm trying to think. Like, I would not do anything too crazy, cause
No, think about things you don't like that you think are very. You have supreme power
yeah, I
here.
know.
You
It's
don't
just
have
like,
to be a good
man,
person.
I that's not my kind of personality. I don't think about ruling things, so
I like that. I like that.
it's not a topic I've ever thought about. I know you thought about this shit every other week.
Consider it for the hypothetical.
I'm
Because you like
considering it
having control.
now.
You like having control over other
But
people.
like,
Who does
it's
like
not
having
so.
control?
I don't like
I
controlling
don't.
people.
You like controlling your own life, bro. Of course you like.
That's not what we're talking about.
We're talking
I'm
about
not
other people.
controlling everything, every aspect around
Yeah.
me. I don't like that. Like having control of myself and having control over everything is two different things.
It's way
You have
different.
control over your immediate surroundings, and you do like it because when people cause discord in your immediate surroundings, you get very angry.
I mean, that's because they can't control themselves. That's completely different. I don't like that they can't control themselves.
Now you don't like that they're fucking up your environment,
They're
like
not. They're
everyone.
fucking up themselves, bro. Cause look,
But anyway,
man, you are chaos too, right? But you have that controlled level of chaos where I'm like, I can predict what you were gonna do, and I'm like, yeah, he gonna do what he gonna do. Like Teray was chaos. I didn't give a fuck about that nigga. Well, not that. I'm not saying it that way. I was like, I didn't care about what he was gonna do, you know, because he was in control of whatever he was gonna do, and I could I can understand. It's all right. That's who he is, type shit. But if you're just like going on like some weird spiral and you're just like a mess, I'm gonna look at you and like, yo,
yeah, I
don't need
meant
that in my
more,
life, bro. I don't need that.
like your. Talking more like your personal castle. Like if someone up in your house causes some trouble, that's gonna piss you off because it's your immediate environment. You should have some control over it.
But to think of a whole nation as my castle, oh man,
Yeah,
that's a hard thing for me to
I was
do.
saying think
Because
of three things. Think of three.
All right, EJ, you got to go first. 'Cause it's gonna take me a second.
Okay, yeah, you
It's
go
just
first.
not the
EJ.
kind of thing I think about.
I can't think of anything in terms of laws and policies that I would implement, but the first idea that comes to mind is I would want something that kind of emulates like how dictators are depicted traditionally within film or media. Like I would want just to be surrounded by a bunch of women, having one on my shoulders massaging me, uh, another one feeding me grapes.
Cigar in the
Or
mouth.
well, yeah, cigar in the mouth with a robe on, and just sitting on my throne. Just that I need that.
You just want to be
That
the.
would be awesome.
You just want the benefits. The benefits of
Yeah,
being.
exactly. I don't know if I'd be, you know, I don't know if I would be a good person when it comes to like, putting laws in place and making decisions.
I mean,
But
you could do.
as far as the fringe benefits, man, give me that. Give me that. Like when I wake up in the morning, I need somebody showing me a bunch of outfits to pick from. Like
Just do what Ray. Just do what Ray was saying. Basically, you have your little cabinet, but you pretend it's you making all the rules. So you're not doing shit. You're just sitting there relaxing. So they like you said, they have their insurance, right? They're like, okay, if we fuck up, they're gonna kill this idiot instead of us. You know what I
All right,
mean?
so
That's their thinking.
so coming up with three laws is still hard, but I guess I
You can
would
just
probably not let capitalism expand to every market. You know, like the housing market probably wouldn't be left up to capitalism, and there
okay.
probably wouldn't be a free market for that. I would probably own all the land, and I would probably figure out some way. I'm not gonna figure it out right now, but I'm
Yeah,
just
no.
saying, like, I would probably
distribute the money evenly.
not. It's not even money. It's just like housing at least. Like I'd probably take care of housing. You know, like try to regulate that in some sort of way because bro, rent's expensive. And honestly, rent's expensive. I was watching videos about this. Rent's really expensive just because like it is in the hands of private people. Like rent doesn't need to be as expensive as it is.
Mhm.
I'm not even saying it's like some shit where it's like if the government took over, everything would be great. I'm not saying shit like that either. It's just I'm not even saying this purely due to greed because I own a building. I want to make some money off of it. I'm gonna make some money off of it. There's just other ways. So I'd probably implement one of those other ways to at least city housing, right? Like if you wanted to live in the suburbs, that'd probably be unregulated. But like for in city housing, it'd probably be a little more regulated. That's probably one of the things I'd probably do. food would probably be one of those things. I would kind of probably want to make sure that those basic benefits are not left up to market. Like if you want to have some super extravagant dinner, all right, that's on you, right? But you know, like I don't want anyone to ever have to go into the supermarket and count their pennies. Like, damn, like I either get ketchup or I get mayo. Like I can't get both. Like I don't want it to be like that. You know, it's one of those types of situations.
Yeah.
Can't get a
Also,
ribeye steak.
I would also have some benefits, the same ones that EJ said. You know,
Fringe benefits.
Just-
That's
I like
the whole
the way
thing
you
for
said
me.
it.
just
You said it like you said it like so fast, like almost like he's going to freeze fast.
Yeah, he doesn't even want to go into the kind of benefits. He's just like, nah. I'm with EJ.
bro.
He's out to James in a minute again.
Bro, it definitely be something I got tired of after like a month, but I'm gonna enjoy that month.
You're gonna still do it. It's just not gonna be as enjoyable as it was the first time.
I probably wouldn't even do it as much. I probably wouldn't even do it after a
breakfast
month.
in bed.
Imagine sitting at your computer thing and some woman is doing like a great massage on your shoulders. You're not gonna want to stop that.
See,
So
when I said I meant like the super high tier level of it, where I was like, you just got like a whole harem of people just doing shit. I'd probably turn that down way. I'd probably have one dedicated secretary.
Like you guys all see coming. You see Coming to America, right?
Yeah.
You saw how that movie starts off? Just like that.
Massage.
I would definitely have like Lex Luthor. I'd have one. I'd have a Mercy. I'd have Mercy.
Now that would be cool as fuck.
Mercy.
All right. So if I was a dictator,
I don't even hear it, bro. I already know.
First thing, I would have.
already know. I gotta turn my TV off if this nigga's ruling.
I would have a Mercy. That would be fucking like when I say a Mercy, I mean like a real Mercy though. You know who Mercy Graves is, EJ?
No, I have no idea.
Basically, Mercy Graves was Luther's right hand woman, and she would do anything.
Left hand.
She would do anything. She would fucking kill people for him if he says it. Kill that motherfucker. I'm having that. Imagine having like she'd have to be hot as hell. First of all, wearing the same kind of Nazi-esque uniform, hot as hell. Whoo!
At his beck and call.
I would never do anything with her though. Never, nothing sexual. She'd just be there specifically for that purpose. I'll let people think, and just so I can be sitting there and like, oh, that's a nice one. You'd be having fun with that one. I'm like, excuse me, you know, just like, I'm like, Mercy, ice this fool, bro.
Yeah, I was thinking like he's gonna be like, yeah, you can find out your Mercy. Go take him to the back, show him what we do.
Fucking, she puts a load in his face. When you know what I mean.
Someone's calling me again, bro. Oh my god.
But anyways, he's gonna keep going. So some of the other things I would do, personal health, like physical health, would be mandatory in my nation. Nobody walking around being fat or anything. That's not happening. You're gonna have to do a certain amount of working out every single day. Like it's not even gonna be anything crazy. You just got to keep yourself in some kind of physical ableness. You get what I'm saying? Like that would be mandatory. Like people would be at work and basically you'd stop work and be like, okay, guys, time for the mandatory fitness thing, right? And everyone would get up and do some push-ups or something or some jumping jacks, just basic stuff. Your diet would be heavily regulated. I'm sorry. This is what would happen.
Oh, wait, time out. You know that thing, that exercise thing? There was actually a thing like that in China or I think Taiwan. One of them. Are they the same place? No, oh, man.
Oh, come on, man.
Damn.
Not Taiwan. I remember there's a place.
You're literally fighting against them about that, bro.
I don't wait. I was like, yo, I remember someone was fighting with China right now. But there was just like a calisthenic thing that you have to do. Like you every morning you listen to the radio and it'd be like, you know, it's just some simple exercises you do.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll do that. You doing your simple exercise, 100%. And like I said, your diet would be heavily regulated. You can eat certain things. One thing I'll do, I'd probably follow what you said, the food industry. But the thing is, I wouldn't like cap like on the capitalism side. It would be more so what companies can do to the food. Like if they're out here putting shit in there that's fucking gonna make people become upset, I'm like, you can't do that shit. Like you can't do that.
No addictives.
No addictives, none of that stuff. The food has to be healthy. If you're making food, I'll literally be like, if you're a company making food, the food has to have some sort of healthy benefit for the body. If it doesn't, yeah, you're not out here making no fucking corn chips or no bullshit like that. Like it has to be
no snacks, bro.
Nope.
No snacks, bro.
No snacks. I live in a world.
Ah, bro.
you're gonna have to. You can only eat fruits, that kind of stuff, candy. You can eat some nuts. That kind of eat some nuts. Anyways, what else would be? What else would I do?
See, I know this
Oh,
man was thinking about this. He's been thinking about this
yeah.
since he
No,
was
this was.
7,
I'm
bro.
actually just thinking
Nah,
aloud
bro.
this
He was
out of
thinking
my
about
head.
this. He was just. I can't.
Had your answer ready.
Yeah, but the other thing is television. That's controlled by me, bro. We ain't out here. You're out here watching no garbage. Television is the same thing. Everything's gonna be good for you. There's gonna be entertainment value, of course,
No, it's not.
but it's still good for you.
This nigga gonna be like, all right, if you want some entertainment, turn on Dragon Tales, learn your ABC.
Yo, Dragon Tales was fire. Don't even try it. Dragon Tales was fire.
Oh man, Dragon Tales, bro. Cyber Chase is still going. You know that?
What was that?
Cyber Chase is still going.
Oh, I'm about to start watching new episodes.
You still be what?
I want to see what's going on.
You be catching the new weekly episodes or something?
Nah,
Like,
I was watching a video on it. I'll be watching video
Chase
essays on people who talk about cartoons.
Cyber Chase was peak. That was another.
Chase, we moving. We beating Hacker at his game.
Cyber Chase was another Xanatos game. He has some crazy ones in that show.
What streamer does that? Potassium?
I don't know streamer. His name is Jordan Fringe.
Okay.
Potassium? Did you make that up?
But you guys watch somebody named Potassium?
I watch Veritasium.
Oh, okay. Potassium? Nah, but the thing is, Cyber Chase was beautiful. Like I'm telling you, Hacker was a
Hacker was out here, bro.
He would trick those motherfuckers. No, the amount of times he tricked them, bro, or he had them thinking he was about to do one thing, and then they go to stop him, and then they do what he actually wanted them to do. And he's like,
the amount of times they tricked him right back.
True. They did the same thing to him.
They were like,
that show had
bro,
mad.
it got to the point where the Hacker was like, all right, I'm going to do this, but really I'm going to do this. And like, Hacker's probably going to do this, but really do this. And I know that they think I'm going to do this. So it was getting too deep, bro. I was like, yo.
That's some JoJo shit. Yo, Eric, wait till you get to Stardust Crusaders, and then when you get to Golden Wind, those two arcs in JoJo Bizarre Adventure.
You already ruined it for me, though. You told me the whole thing about Polarov.
Oh, I didn't tell you shit about Polnareff.
Did you told me that he acted as a kid or something, and then JoJo.
That's nothing. That's nothing. That's one episode. Even I who ain't watching it, I'm like, that's nothing, bro.
That episode, and I only told you like part of the episode. Like, I didn't even tell you the plot, so you don't know.
You told me the whole thing. You told me the whole thing.
But anyways, basically, those 2 seasons. That what Ray just described is what those niggas do. Basically, they just sit there, just like. He gonna think I'm gonna do this, but I'm really doing this. And then, like, especially Jotaro, that fucking
stop mentioning names.
Okay, well, Jotaro's you already know who he is. If you've ever seen Jotaro,
I haven't met him yet.
The nigga pointing like this, you've seen him all over. That is Jotaro. Okay, he's literally the most popular one.
I haven't. I'm not familiar with.
Oh, you haven't seen the guy with the hat? You haven't seen?
No, I haven't. It's not like I follow this. You know,
not because the funny thing is, before I even knew what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was, I used to see it in the library. This is back when I was a kid too. I didn't read that shit or nothing, but you would see it, and the person you saw was Jotaro. He was always the one on the volume with the hat. You'd see him with his hat. I thought he hunted monsters or some shit before. That's what I thought he did.
Yeah, but I don't be searching up the content in my free time. So I've just been watching the show.
Well, yeah, like I said, basically. No, everything's gonna be good for you. That's the other thing. See, the police. I remember I used to talk about this all the time. I would train the police. There would be a certain.
I forgot we were talking about the hypotheticals. Like this thing.
I would have a certain section of the police that are trained to have like heavy weaponry. Like that's what they do. Like they're kind of like the SWAT. But the main police would not have weapons.
Man just said I'd have a military.
Weapons would be heavily regulated in this world, of course, and I don't mean to. I'm full Second Amendment, but at the same time, I don't know, man.
Y'all don't be needing to have all that, you know.
Yeah, it's like I just don't want. In my perfect world, I don't.
But would guns be outlawed?
See, I want.
He's saying they wouldn't be, but like you wouldn't just be able to like.
I'm saying like
buy the biggest weapon you can.
Yeah. I'm saying would normal.
I don't want people to be able, because I don't want the police to have guns, the main police on the street. And if they don't have guns and the criminals have guns, it makes no sense. So I would try to find some way, some kind of middle ground or something. But I want the police to be heavily trained. Like in this world, you're not becoming no cop if you're some fucking 90-pound weakling or you're overweight. None of that shit's happening, bro. If you're a cop, you're like the top of the top. You're like some anime
Yeah.
niggas, bro.
You had to
Like
go through some rigorous
it's wild.
training.
I agree about the training, but like the criteria would be different. I wouldn't want like I'd have some sort of personality. I wouldn't want no fucking super militant guy. Because bro, that's how you get these asshole cops out here. They just really think they're better than other people.
I want them to be super militant, but in the way of like the classic
They can
warrior.
Be disciplined, yeah. I want
They have warrior ethos, you know, like they're
they
the
gotta have
warrior
some sort of honor to like. It's like I'm not out here just gonna
to
bully
serve or
civilians,
protect,
bro. Like,
yeah.
I can't have no one like that on the force.
Yeah. I would also, what I would do is when you're a member of this police force, you would have to be well versed in many different things.
You
Like
I'm also
like,
at least know the law, bro. How you gonna
be out
here
law,
protecting and
like
serving
political
and not
science,
knowing the
law,
law?
and that kind of shit. You'd have to know that shit like the back of your fucking hand. So like those super cops you be seeing in movies who know shit like the back of their hand, they would be like that.
Just
and
rattling it off is like, all right, section 16 4.-777.
Article 4.
Article
Section 3.
Basically, when you're doing something wrong, if you see that cop coming after you, it's over. You lost. Like you're not gonna be able to run from this motherfucker. I mean, you might be if you're in a world where everyone's physically fit. But if you're physically fit, everyone's physically fit, then you can imagine these cops would be some fucking superhumans.
In my mind, when I imagined I was a dictator, I didn't imagine utopia, but I was just like, I would definitely try my hardest to at least alleviate some of the pressures, that plague a lot of the impoverished people. Like like I want to feel like I try to make schools like basically kind of equalize. It's like, yo, you don't got to fight over where you're getting your education. Like every school facility should at least be upheld to the same sort of standard, right? Because that's the only way standardized testing even makes any sense. Like, how are we going to take the same test but we're not learning the same shit? That doesn't make no sense.
One thing you just reminded me of something. Actually, one thing I think would be cool is to create like clans or whatever for specific trades and that kind of stuff. Like trades would be more important than
all these. I feel like all these good positive changes takes away from the whole dictator role.
Being a dictator don't mean you gotta be.
But it has a negative connotation associated when you look at the historical.
Man! If you
examples,
I'm a very I guess you could call me I'm a very
dictator could just mean all the powers consolidated into one person. Doesn't mean that
the idea of a dictator in itself is considered very unethical and terrible by many people. They hate the idea. So one, there's already that. I'm already saying in this episode I'm a dictator. So based on that alone, people would be mad. Absolute power corrupts.
That one person could be responsible or could be more knowledgeable than everyone else.
Listen to the things I just said, though. I said you're gonna have to be forced to engage.
Like I already told you, if this man's a dictator, you gotta turn your TV off. You're not gonna be enjoying yourself.
Not that, but the net benefit. I mean, the end benefit. The end benefit is positive.
I'm taking away your freedom to choose. Correct.
That's true. That's true.
Now you can no longer eat what you want. You have to eat certain things, or you're done for. I literally just said I was going to create a super police force. Any Democrat hears me say that, they would lose their minds. I said I was going to create a super police force.
Like honestly, the main issue with even the hypothetical, just like I never thought about being a dictator, bro. Not once in my life. I know this man has. I just never thought about it. So to be presented was an idea that I've actually never thought about. I was like, it's going to take me a second to come up with things. And even the things I came up with weren't necessarily being dictatory.
Yeah.
Right. Like
you just sound like a project manager for a housing development.
Like you sound like a commie. That's what you sounded like. You sound like a commie.
Look, man. Certain things. It's not even like I believe certain things should be handled by the state. It's just because I'm in charge, I feel like I should handle certain things.
Damn, see, that would have been perfect. You should have said, it's not that I feel certain things should be handled by the state. It's just that certain things should be handled by the state. That would have been hilarious if you said
in this scenario, I am the state. And I said everything should be handled by me. So,
like Judge Dredd, I am the law.
Kind of. Where it was like, look, man, I don't trust you to do it. I trust me to do it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
type shit.
But I guess some people would say that's part of the problem. It's
I
like, can you?
mean, those people are wrong. So
Because like, if you have a certain amount of power, can you trust yourself?
no,
Like,
but yes,
yeah,
because you have to. There's
it's
you,
like
look,
you
look.
wish you
It's
could.
one of those
You
things where
know?
it's like it's not about what you want to do; it's what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like remember that phrase I used to say, and you were telling me I need to stop thinking like that, but I can't stop it. If not me, then who?
Yeah, you
Remember?
definitely gotta stop doing that.
I was like, if I don't do it, then who will? I think like that a lot. And
Though
yeah,
that is also just untrue. Because even if you don't do it, someone will eventually.
it is untrue. But when I say that, I mean more like in my immediate surroundings.
Yeah,
If I don't do this thing, then who's going to do it? And
someone.
that's why.
The
That's
answer
why I
is
would think.
someone.
That's why I would think about these things, like even fixing. I would think a lot about fixing the problems of the world, and then I began to realize the only way you could do these things is if you had an inordinate amount of power. You'd have to have a crazy amount of power to do it, because if you tried trying to fix some problem, you're going to run into roadblocks because you just don't have the power to do certain things. You just don't. I mean, many people have tried, and you just it's hard to do. Like
I mean,
there are
yeah,
all these
like
regulations.
people. Like, look, I like to believe that there are original ideas, right? But I don't believe people are like the first ones to come up with them most of the time, right? So it's not even like, oh man, you have this great idea how to change the school system. You think people haven't tried?
Yeah, you is yeah. Even what fucking Sneeko was saying when he was presenting his idea.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because when he was like, "I'm trying to wake people up," in my head I was like, people have been trying to wake people up since centuries before you were born, my brother. It's like,
They were trying to wake people
like
up since sleep.
yeah, it's like Martin Luther. Martin Luther was out here nailing shit to
Yeah.
the fucking church, trying to tell people, bro, the church is fucking with you. Like the church, these niggas are crazy.
Nah. Oh, you guys ever seen that show? My Name is Earl.
No.
Yes, of course. That show
Yeah.
is beautiful. You need to watch
All right.
that. That's a good show.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah,
Put that as a requirement for your new regime.
that shit's hilarious. You
But
actually like that show a lot, right? Actually.
you
Yeah.
would. There was an episode that reminded me of the whole Sneeko thing, because like basically for those who haven't seen the show, the premise is Earl has these people on his list that he wronged in the past, and he's trying to make it up to them in different ways. So uh this one guy that was on the list, I think he stole something from him, but then he ended up running into the guy in the few and like later on, like as he was doing the list, and the guy ended up like I think he lived on like he lived off the land or something. Like he lived in a tent. Like he basically his way of living was like way different. He didn't pollute the air. He only used like natural energy. So his whole lifestyle was based off of like, recycling and just living greener. And so like he was explaining why he was living like that to Earl, and Earl didn't know about recycling or global warming or any of those like major issues that could drastically affect the earth. So then when Earl got wind of it, he had that like Sneeko type reaction, like, damn, we gotta do something. Like we gotta tell everybody to recycle. We gotta do this together. Like that's the only way we could fix the issue. And he was like, Earl, relax. You're gonna drive yourself crazy thinking like that. What you gotta do is take it one step at a time. Every day, recycle and do your part. And maybe one day, you'll inspire somebody and move the next person to do the same. But you can't just go out here try to change everybody. You could only handle you could only control what
You wanna
you
know what's
could
funny?
control.
That's exactly what Abba was telling Sneeko at the time. That is literally what he was trying to get him at. He's like, yo, bro, just do it. Like just one step at a time. You're not gonna flip a switch and everything's gonna be alright. It's not gonna be alright like that.
So
You
it was
have to.
funny in the episode because like when he went back to his house, like he went to go throw something out, and then he happened to pass by somebody, and they just threw they just threw a can in the garbage. He was like, "Hey man, what are you doing? Like put it in the recycle. Like what's the matter with you?" And the guy just kept walking. Like he was so passionate. And then he ended up seeing how so many people were so apathetic towards the issue. And he was just like, damn, man, like if people keep doing this, we're not gonna get to this state. You know?
Yeah.
You
He
wanna
was
know
so
what's
concerned.
wild about recycling in general? You know how hard it is to recycle, bro? Like, it's not just put paper and plastic in the recycling bin. There are certain plastics that cannot be recycled. You know that? Um, you know pizza boxes can't be recycled, right? Like they can't be recycled because of the oil.
Why not?
Because of the oils all from the pizza. Like they just can't be recycled.
Okay.
Like it's just stuff like that. There are certain things that once they have touched certain other things cannot be recycled. Like you can't recycle tissue paper. Like the paper you used to blow your nose, you can't recycle that because it's touched bio waste. And even if it hasn't, we don't know if it has, so we don't want to
Wait,
risk the chance.
can we recycle hairlines? I'm asking for a friend.
Man, here I was getting all serious and talking about actual issues, but you want to talk about bullshit? Yeah, we can recycle hairlines.
How would we even do that? How would you recycle a
Imagine
hairline?
just take one off.
Imagine after every time someone gets a haircut, there's somebody there collecting the hair off the floor.
No, bro. Cause, I imagine more like this. Like you got a fresh cut, and you're like, "Damn, I'm gonna say this for later."
Oh my god!
You just use like, "Nah, I got a party next week. Just put it up. You know,
Like
just
it's
put
a
it on the
zipper.
mannequin. Like you know how girls put their wig on a head. It's same thing. You take your hairline off. You put it on one of those mannequin heads. Like, yeah, the hoes gonna love it.
Oh my god!
Some stupid shit, bro.
Just like just. Well, remember that that crazy joke we used to have where like you're playing basketball with somebody and like they try instead of taking the ball from you, they just go and like take your hairline or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like they take your nose, they take your hairline.
Oh yeah, no, I
That
remember
shit
that. That shit was old. That shit was
And you
old.
play basketball, someone they just take your nose, like got your nose. He's like, what?
I'm not playing basketball with that person. I remember I would say that shit too. I was like, nah, I would concede the game. And then you're like,
He's
you're a
like,
magical
yo,
being. You think you can leave?
he's like, yo, where's my nose, bro? You're like, what the fuck?
But yeah, we rambling now. We
But
rambling.
now we're
Yeah.
anyways, any final thoughts, guys?
I never thought about being a dictator. I don't want to be a dictator. But if I
Mhm.
was a dictator, everything would be great. That's all I'm saying.
That's what all the dictators say, bro.
Yeah,
That's what they all.
I know, right? um, please, please save your money, invest. Personally, I'm saying this personally. Personally, generational wealth ain't my goal because I'm not leaving no generations behind, bro. It's just me. So I'm out here living my best life. But if you care about your future seed, you gotta start planting those. You gotta start planting now, bro. Like start investing, opening other savings accounts. If you're gonna have some kids and you think they're gonna go to college, put that money in a certain type of account so that when they hit 18 or whatever, they can use it for college or they can use it to start their own businesses, stuff like that. It's like just try to educate yourself on some financial literacy. I'm not a financial advisor, so it's not like I can just sit here and tell you all the things you should be doing, but
That's
just try.
exactly what they say. Exactly what they say before they give you financial advice.
Yeah, I'm not even. I was like, look, just try to. I was going to tell you,
Yeah.
just go seek out some information. I can't be giving it to you because I don't know myself. Just seek it
Final
out.
thoughts. Final thoughts, EJ.
Uh, I think just on on the dictator conversation, I just need them fridge benefits, man. I need to be massaged daily, fed daily. I don't want to have to lift a finger. You know, I need to be bathed.
Hmm.
I need my outfits picked out for me. I need everything, man. I need to be spoon fed for real. So, you know, shout out to the woman that's trying to do that for me. You know,
If you want to reach EJ, he lives at.
you know,
Yo, and actually, imagine the dictator experience. A woman probably make a lot of money with that. The dictator experience. Like
right?
You think they gotta make, bro? There are literally financial
Like,
dominatrix, bro. They get paid to spend other people's money. You think they out here gonna give you a good life when they can be out here ruining your life and getting paid for it? Man,
Like imagine being able to order that off a menu, like the dictator experience. Yeah, I want some of that.
you gotta
Some
go
of
to
that.
that specific massage parlor down by the way, over there around the corner. You know, under the
Imagine it's
overpass.
not. I'm saying like it doesn't even have to be sexual. She just makes you feel like you're a dictator.
Right.
I ain't say anything about sexual. I ain't say none of that.
Yeah,
I just said it's over there at the massage parlor.
Nicole, go ahead. I'm gonna need you to log off.
I ain't
How
saying
about
nothing,
that?
bro.
I say no.
Final thoughts on any of the financial literacy, financial literacy.
Financial literacy, man. Protect your mentals and protect your chicken, like the great Marshawn Lynch said. And what that means is you're not gonna be able to. Your mind not gonna be right if your money not right. You know what I'm saying? So in the long term, uh, when the world goes through some type of depression or another pandemic, you could be the one of the people that's saying, yeah, I'm good out here. You don't gotta rely on nobody. Like you saying, liquidize the assets, uh, all that good stuff, man. It's good for the long term.
Any thoughts on overstimulation?
Oh yeah,
Home
relax
stimulation.
yourself.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Facts.
ask you about that, did I?
Relax yourself.
Well, that's both your takes. Relax yourself.
Relax yourself. Facts.
Relax yourself.
You're doing too much. You're
You're
doing
doing
too
too much.
much. Calm down.
Final thoughts. Being a dictator is my life's work. You know, like that's what I'm aiming towards. So when you see me on that presidential ticket, just know it's coming. Like just know what's coming next. If
my
you ever
first,
see my name on
my first
presidential ticket,
presidential action will to be get rid of the presidency and declare
if you
dictatorship over
if
the
you ever see me on the presidential ticket, just know that at some point in time your rights are going to be taken from you. This is going to happen. I don't know how. I'm not going to tell you how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Somehow it's going to happen. You just got to wait. Some war is going to pop up out of nowhere. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to have to declare martial law. Like it's gonna. You're gonna. I'm just spoilers. But anyways. Yeah, overstimulation is the way of the devil. Like overstimulation is death. Like you overstimulate yourself, that could ruin your life like that. You can fuck up your life like that with overstimulation. And finally, touching on what Ray said, invest your money. Yes, do all that stuff. Secure your future. Make ways for your money to grow, but also be careful where you're investing it so you don't end up in another like sort of FTX fiasco where your money just depletes and is destroyed because
diversify your investments. That's
diversify,
all I'm saying.
diversify, and
That
again,
passive income, right?
passive income, do heavy research on what you're about to do before you do it. Don't just give your money to people.
Well, that don't sound passive, but yeah, go ahead.
Don't just give your money to people, bro. Like that's what people do. They just give their money to people.
Oh yeah, no. There's so many ads. There's like people just like trying to convince you. Like, hey, bro, if you just give me your money and I'll invest it for you. And it's
like that fraud meme. Like here, just take it.
Yeah, basically.
Take my money.
It works, bro. If we got together and started an investment app, we could scam so many people.
Rogue pull. Yeah. Just so you guys know, when we do this later, we were just joking right now. When we
gonna release the financial app, that was a separate joke.
This is a skit. This whole thing's a skit.
Gonna give a course later, Vanguard.
What would I call it, man? What would I call it? It has to be something stupid, bro. It has to be something like very, very
it has to be guild related.
Sanctimonious.
It has to be guild related, bro. We're the Adventurers Guild. Well, the Adventurers.
Oh, it'd be called let me see.
It'd probably be a quest.
Well, Vanguard is
Red.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
Quest. I don't know. Escape the Matrix quest or something. Something related to escaping the Matrix. People love that. People love that. Escape the Matrix. Unplug. They love that shit. Niggas will tell you to unplug from one Matrix to plug into another one. That's what they try to tell you to do.
If you watch the movie, that's basically what happened.
That's a point of the later films. The later films kind of make that idea that they unplug from one Matrix just to go into another. And some of the fan theories, that's literally what happened. They say that's what Neo did. That all they did is go in, there are like multiple layers in the Matrix, and they went to another layer. But that's what these niggas are trying to do. Sneako's like, yo, unplug from the blue pill matrix so you can enter the hustle matrix. You know?
Oh man, we're not even gonna get into hustle culture. Like, yeah, we're not gonna get
All right
into it.
now.
I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah. Vanguard out. Ding.